Hey guys, Sam and Alex here from Top Tennis Training with a racket review.
Today we're going to be reviewing the Babolat Project 17 racket. This is a prototype racket that's going to be out in the market in the next few months, so look out for it. And we're going to review it for you today and just tell you a little bit more about it and see how it plays, how it feels, and something that you can expect when it does come out. Now let's take a closer look at the design. Now in true Babolat fashion, they've gone for the bright colors, and again here you have a nice contrast between the white and the bright orange, so it'd be interesting to see if they stick with this design when it does come out. Now the frame in itself, it feels a lot like a Babolat Strike frame, but actually it feels a little bit thicker, so it could be almost a mix between the Strike and the Babolat Control. So both of those rackets, I guess, would be a combination of this racket. Now the throat of the racket does have the inner edging just like with the Strike, and it does get thicker towards the grip to the bottom. Now for the important part, let's see how it plays. I can't wait.
So Alex, we've just played with the racket. What would you give it out of 10 for control?
Well, it's not the stiffest frame, so that flexibility in the racket means that the ball stays on the strings for a bit longer, and it gives me that good control in a direction. It also gives me good depth, so I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for control. What about you?
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
So that's an 8.5 out of 10 for control. Now, what would you give it for power?
For power, I would give it an 8 out of 10 as well. If you do hit it in the sweet spot, you have a lot of power, but you don't feel that you're losing that control. So it's a good mix between the power and the control. What about you?
I'm actually going to give it a 9. I think it was a little bit more powerful than that. It was just under the pure drive for me, so definitely a 9.
Okay, Alex, what would you give it out of 10 for the design?
Well, it's quite a minimalist feel. There's not much going on, but it's definitely good contrast with the colors. So for me, I'd give it a 7.
7? I'll give it a 5. Just because I think there's a little bit more going on with the Pure Strike. So this might not be the actual color when it does come out, but let's see. So next, let's talk about the aerodynamics of the racket. So this is how fast it's moving through the air prior to contact and after contact. So what would you give it out of 10, Alex?
Well, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, just because the frame is a little bit thicker than Pure Strike. So the Pure Strike had a slightly thinner frame, so it was traveling through there a little bit quicker, but it does give you more control because of that thicker frame, so I think it was a worthy sacrifice. So I'm gonna give it a 7. What do you think?
I'll give it an 8. I agree with you.
So how about the feel of the racket?
Well, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10, simply because if you hit it in the sweet spot, it is really crisp. You feel that nice explosion of power, but if you hit it on the side, you do feel that it's quite unforgiving. What about yourself?
Well, I'm going to actually give it a 9 because I feel I hit the ball more in the center than you. So maybe we'll go and do some drills to improve that center of the racket feel for you.
All right, let's go and do that.
I think that
right
was
now.
a 9 for me, guys. That was great feel on the racket. All right, next we're going to look at the balance. So this is how balanced, whether it's head heavy or grip heavy. So what do you think about the balance on the racket?
For me, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 because you do feel that it is a balanced racket. It isn't too head heavy, it isn't too grip heavy.
So it's evenly balanced,
It's
guys.
balanced perfectly, so I'd give it an 8 out of 10. What about yourself?
For me too.
Okay, next we're going to talk about the stability of the racket. So Alex, what are your thoughts?
Well, actually, I'd give it a 9 for stability, just because I thought it was a really stable racket. I mean, they made some great improvements to the strike. So the Babolat strike, I felt like it was vibrating a lot, especially if I didn't quite hit it in the center of the racket, like it was vibrating. It didn't quite give me that sense of stability in the shot. So this is definitely, for me, it's one of the most stable rackets out there. I'd give it a 9.
But I thought you always hit it in the center, Alex, so...
Looks like we both need to go and practice.
Let's go and do it right now.
I think we'll go and practice, and I'll hit some more with this racket.
Perfect. So overall, Alex, what would you give it out of 10 for the racket?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I'm going to go for an 8 out of 10. I think the power is good, the control is good, but if you hit it off center, it isn't as forgiving.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Look out for this racket. It will be out in the coming months. I think it's going to be quite a big release for Babolat, and we're happy to bring this to you before everyone else. So I hope you enjoyed it. Watch other videos from our channel, click the like button, leave a comment underneath. Perhaps there's a racket that you'd like us to review. We're going to try and get on top of that. We're going to do more reviews for you guys. And yeah, share it with your friends as much as you can.
And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that right now. All the best, guys.